Today, we're going inside one of the most sophisticated financial crimes out there, one that's specifically targeting retirees. This is a heist that doesn't use a weapon. It uses something far more powerful, your trust. We're going to break down a system known as the Fiduciary Mirror, and I'll show you exactly how professional imposters use the very regulations designed to protect you to instead authorize a complete wipeout of your life savings.
So just imagine this for a second. You have an advisor you really trust. This is someone who knows your family, someone who helped you navigate this incredibly complex financial world. He's the one who warned you about a coming tax storm and showed you a safe harbor for your 401k. You feel secure, you feel protected. But then, in an instant, all that protection just vanishes. The website, the phone number, the person you put your faith in, and your money, it's all gone. Look, this isn't some hypothetical. It's the final move in a meticulously planned extraction.
And this is what we call the Fiduciary Mirror. It's a scam that works by reflecting back everything you'd want to see in a guardian for your wealth. Professionalism, expertise, a deep concern for your future. The predator doesn't just invent a fake identity. They actually steal a real one, cloning the credentials of a legitimate, squeaky clean advisor to create this perfect illusion of safety.
So in this explainer, we're going to break down this scam into 6 parts. We'll kick things off with the paradox of trust. Then we'll explore the psychological traps, dissect the heist's playbook, get into the brain science they exploit, then build your defense, and finally reveal the one true test of a real advisor.
Okay, let's start with the absolute core of this deception. In the world of this scam, your trust isn't a bond, it's a master key. The entire operation really hinges on exploiting our natural, human desire to find a protector, a guardian who can navigate all the complexities of finance for us.
And here is the paradox, the really twisted part. That feeling of security is their primary weapon. The scammer's goal is to make you feel so safe, so exclusively cared for, that your own skepticism just completely shuts down. They build this fortress of trust all around you, but the walls are designed to trap you in, not to keep threats out. That feeling of guardianship is exactly what the predator uses to lead you into a total liquidation of your capital, turning your own prudence into the very tool of your financial ruin.
So how do they actually get you to fall for this? Well, they do it by engineering a very specific psychological state. It's a trap where our ability to think critically gets completely short-circuited by fear. This state is called fiduciary blindness, and it's a biological and social exploit. See, when financial regulations seem overwhelmingly complex, and then a sense of panic gets introduced, our brain's natural skepticism reflex, it just goes dark. We stop analyzing and we start looking for a savior. The scammer isn't just selling you an investment, they are selling you an escape from all that confusion and fear.
And the most effective way to trigger this blindness is by weaponizing what they call tax panic. They'll use IRS rule mimicry, referencing some real but obscure regulation to sound credible, even though they're totally misrepresenting what it means. They'll invent an urgent, unavoidable threat, something like a 2026 tax cliff, to create an emergency that doesn't actually exist. The goal is simple: trigger a physiological fear response that forces you to make a quick, emotional decision, bypassing any and all logic.
So why go to all this trouble? Because the payoff is absolutely massive. While you're panicked about taxes, you're not asking about fees. These predators steer victims into high-risk, illiquid, exotic investments, think an overseas hotel project that pays the scammer a secret commission of up to 30%. This isn't just a bad investment, it's total resource depletion. Your principal isn't being invested, it's being siphoned off from day one.
Okay, so how does this whole operation actually unfold? Well, it's not a random crime at all. It's a clinical, 4-phase system. Think of it like a financial virus, and we're about to map its DNA.
The playbook is incredibly methodical. Phase 1 is authority signaling, which we've touched on, creating that tax panic to establish that they know more than you. Phase 2 is credential mirroring, where they build this perfect illusion of legitimacy. Phase 3 is where the money starts moving, and those hidden commissions are taken. And Phase 4 is the final act, the vanish trap.
Now, this credential mirroring phase, this is really the point of no return. The scammer gives you a name and a license number that are 100% real. They've simply stolen the identity of a professional with a perfectly clean record. Then they'll offer you a free pension review. This isn't a sales pitch, it's a data capture operation. The moment you hand over your financial statements, you haven't just given them data, you've given them authority.
Now, what's really fascinating is how they maintain the illusion. As you can see, what they show you is fantastic growth,
But the reality is completely different. You transfer your life savings into what's called a special purpose vehicle, basically a separate company created just for this investment. While their slick AI-generated statements show you a 12% growth, your money is actually being drained to pay those massive kickbacks. This isn't an investment, it's an extraction.
And all of this leads to the final, devastating phase, the vanish trap. For a year, maybe more, everything seems perfect. Then you need to withdraw some money. Suddenly, the advisor who is so accessible is full of excuses. They'll use all this bureaucratic jargon, regulatory lockups, liquidity gaps, using the very tax code against you to keep you quiet and delay you from finding out the truth. This just buys them time. And then one day, after months of delays, you try to log in, and it's all gone. The advisor, the website, the phone, a digital ghost.
So, why does this clinical process work so well, even on smart, cautious people? Well, because it isn't hacking your bank account, it's hacking your brain. It's exploiting the deep-seated psychological shortcuts that we all share.
You see, the entire scam hinges on a principle called the authority heuristic. It's actually a survival trait. In a complex world, it's efficient for us to rely on experts to guide us. But this reflex can be hijacked. The scammer positions themselves as the ultimate authority, the protector fighting the complexities of the taxman on your behalf. We are biologically wired to trust that person, to enter a state of what's called institutional submission.
To make sure your analytical brain never kicks in, they engage in what we call performative professionalism. They'll casually drop legal citations. They might even play office background noise on calls to create the impression of a busy, legitimate firm. They mirror the calm, authoritative tone of every banker or lawyer you've ever respected. But the crucial point is this: they make you feel that asking questions is the real risk. Your own prudence gets turned into a weapon against you.
All right, so now that we've dissected the attack, how do we defend against it? Well, empowerment comes from creating what we call regulatory friction. It's about using the system's own rules as a logical weapon against a psychological rush.
The goal here is simple: slow down the process and force the truth to come to the surface. And you do this by becoming the auditor, by creating a little friction. Your first and most powerful tool is the broker check shield. This is absolutely non-negotiable. Before you do anything, you go to the official government websites, that's FINRA.org or the SEC's IAPD database. You verify not just the name and license number, but the firm, the phone number, and the physical address. If anything, and I mean anything at all, doesn't match up perfectly, you hang up the phone. Skepticism is not disrespect, it is security.
Here is a powerful tool you can literally memorize and use. We call it the advisory exit script. The moment you feel any pressure, you just calmly state this: I understand the proposal, but I only work with SEC-registered fiduciaries. I will be auditing this proposal with my independent accountant before authorizing any transfers. I am ending this call. This single statement, it acts like a truth serum.
Because their reaction is the real test. A scammer will immediately pivot to urgency and pressure. They'll try to shame you for your caution, saying you're going to lose out on some critical tax advantage. A real, legitimate advisor, they'll welcome the audit. They'll encourage independent verification because they have absolutely nothing to hide. Their reaction tells you everything you need to know.
And this brings us to the final and most simple litmus test. When you strip away all the jargon, all the glossy brochures, and the manufactured panic, it all comes down to one fundamental difference.
A real advisor shows you the math. They will put their fee schedule right there in writing. They'll explain the costs, the risks, and the structure. A scammer? They show you the glossy brochure. They sell you the dream, the panic, the escape. They want you to move your money to protect it, but they are the threat that you're running from.
So, we'll leave you with this simple mantra for protection. It's a final thought to kind of anchor everything we've covered. Just say to yourself anytime you're approached, I check the registry. I demand the fee schedule. I never transfer my life's work on a first call. That discipline, that is the ultimate shield for your financial future.